Darling, can't you be steady? I'm going to have it done very shortly. She said, Dr. Kish, I am sorry, but the sight of the needle frightened me.
Joy 99.7
She
FM.
pulled it out, I push it back. She start to shout, Dr. Kish, it's terrible. I can't stand the size of your needle.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Okay, Dr. Kitch. Lord Kitchener.
Lie down
Ushering
quiet,
us into another
constantly moving.
well-packaged,
So I slap her in the face.
undoubtedly educational, informative, and transformative edition of Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM.
I can't stand the pain.
With me, Nortey by nature.
Inside,
We've been doing a series on sexual health,
it's your own fault. You won't
safe sex, and birth control methods. I've got my sexual health SWAT team in the house. Doris J
it out. I push it back.
is with the Ridge Hospital, Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Rose Edufo is with the Kolibu Teaching Hospital.
Needle.
And Theresa Mami Equia Gali is with the Society for Family Health International. So if you've been with us over the past 2 weeks, we've defined sexuality, sexual health, and we defined safe sex, broad spectrum of abilities, capacities, potentials, responsibilities, both individual, personal, and social responsibility. Today we go into the more specific methods: sexual lubricants, the barrier methods, the condom. Actually, despite the low figures and prevalence of use and patronage, one of the most familiar methods. So today we have on the table in front of me some of these products, lubricants. Let me call it the wooden model for demonstrating how to put on the male condom. If you have any questions, concerns, experiences, dislikes, biases, share with me on WhatsApp 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. My SWAT team, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
You don't sound SWATish.
Thank you.
All right. Somebody said to me last week that I seem to be excited when the three of you are in the studio. And I said to the person, guilty as charged. In any case, I will not plead. But it's good to have you because you give out exceptional, phenomenal education, and it's always great to have you back. So we've done the deal. We know what sexual health is and what it encompasses. We know what safe sex is, right? When we're trying to reduce the exchange of fluids and reduce risk when it comes to STIs, pregnancy, and the like. So if you're a listener, you should know where we're at, and we're wasting no time. And we're going to be looking at lubricants and, of course, condoms, which include both the male and female variants, right? So if you have any questions, concerns, experiences, mishaps, what we call the oops, you can share with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. So, Doris, let me start with you. Last week, you threatened to give a demonstration, but let's talk a bit about the condom, right? And start with the male condom. Okay, most of these are made of latex, and there are others, polyurethane and other, materials that I use. But tell us a bit about the male condom.
Thank you, Nortey. And good afternoon, everybody. The male condom, as we all know, is made of latex. Mm-hmm. Most of it is made of latex. Some are made of other materials, depending on what the person wants. Because some women react to the latex, material. Okay. And they complain of having discharges, rashes, and what have you.
Okay.
So in place of that, you could use the female condom, which is made of polyurethane, and it has less side effects as a latex. But today we have different types here, and the studded one, the one with some strawberry,
Flavored.
and flavored ones,
Textured,
depending on
different
what.
textures.
Yes,
Sure.
Right.
the very thin one, which feels like the skin itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, as time goes on, we'll remove them one by one for everybody to see.
You.
And the flavored ones, whichever flavor you want,
Okay.
vanilla, strawberry, whatever you want in the room,
Mm-hmm.
you'd have it.
Okay. The essential purpose is to protect against unwanted pregnancy and then
And
sexually transmitted.
STIs, yes.
Right. Okay.
So if you want to prevent unwanted or unintended pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
then you can use condom alone and something else. Let's say the woman is on IUD, but depending on the situation, then you add condoms to it. That's where we call the dual method use.
Right.
Where both, maybe I am having IUD in, not me as me, Doris,
Hang
but
on a sec, Doris, because some people think IUD is a political party. Intrauterine device.
intrauterine device.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So
We'll
that-
get to those ones, but
yes, so
let's
the
not
dual-
assume that everybody understands.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
for the correction. So where we have the dual method used, that's where condoms and another contraceptive method is used.
Okay. So be mindful that you may have another method in place, but
Yes.
if you want full protection or dual protection, then you may or you should be adding the condom. All right. So, Teresa, I see several types there, but you are into what we'll now call social marketing, even though you're a pharmacist with the Society for Family Health International. Now, there's been a shift or transition in the way we sell the safety or we sell protection, right? We see colors, we hear about flavors, textures, and so on. It seems in order to get people to protect themselves, we're now focusing on the experience. Is that good or bad?
Thank you, Nortey, and
Yeah.
good afternoon to the cherished listeners. Yes, we at SFH, like you mentioned, we are a non-profit organization, but we do promote family planning, sexual reproductive health,
Okay.
and HIV prevention through social marketing. That is the marketing of family planning commodities such as condoms and lubricants.
Okay.
So that they are accessible, available for the general population to use.
Okay.
And to answer your question, yes, we have made it exciting, as you have said, depending on the experience. If you are going to market these products, you need to make them attractive, you need to make them, like I said, accessible, available, but also because of the target population in which you are marketing these products to.
Right.
Because of the demographic, between 18
Ages,
to
gender, and
ages,
so on.
gender, and
Right.
all that. So, not just SFH, several social marketing organizations have different types.
Okay.
So, for example, today we have a strawberry flavored, we have a chocolate flavored condom, we have a studded or what we call a dotted condom.
Right.
To give
So it's rough.
it's
kind
rough,
of,
yes.
right.
It gives pleasure, increases the pleasure. There is also the ultra thin, like Auntie Doris mentioned. It almost feels as if there's nothing on.
Okay.
So these are ways or strategies that we have used. Condoms, by way of statistics by the Ghana Health Service, in 2019, the country utilized 32 million pieces of condoms.
Okay.
And in 2020, during the pandemic, we utilized 40 million.
Oh.
And I'm sure by the time we have gone through...
And we are 30 point something. All right. Okay.
Yeah, and by the time we have gone through...
Is that good or bad? Just let's put it in
No,
context.
it is good because it is an essential tool
But
to use.
it's still low comparatively when you
Comparatively.
compare. Our usage, uptake, and patronage of condoms is still low, isn't it?
Okay, I can say that for this 40 million is what we call what is used in the government stream. So what
Right.
we call maybe the free to
So we are
distribute
capturing the use and patronage of condoms
Yeah.
within public facilities.
within public.
That's
So
what we have
haven't
data
even
for.
dovetailed into private
All right.
numbers. So it is yes, there's more room
Okay.
for more condoms to be utilized, and that's where we come in as social marketers.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. If you just joined us, 17 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. The program, as always, on a Sunday afternoon is Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living. We're taking a closer look at safe sex methods, and today we're looking at some of the barrier methods, specifically the male condom, the female condom, and then we will also consider the role and effectiveness of lubricants as well. My team in the studio, as you know, Doris Ajay from the Ridge Hospital, Rose Edufu from the Kolibu Teaching Hospital, and you just heard speaking Theresa Mami Ekwia Gali of the Society for Family Health International. If you have any questions, concerns, you may share with us on WhatsApp 055 11 11 997, and we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Shortly, we will activate the phone lines. Okay, so we have an understanding of some of the techniques in some of this prevention and protection work. We talk about key populations, and we know who they are, their ages, and so on and so forth. So some of these innovations address the characteristics of the people we hope and pray will use these methods. Rose, so we've got the male condom. Very often when we hear of the reproductive health units in our public facilities particularly,
Sure.
the perception, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that they are designed and tuned and essentially manned by women. And so many people think all this stuff we're talking about is really about women, right? So we have the male condom here, and you are going to try and get women to understand this. They are the bulk of the people who come to your facility, right? But it's the men who must wear it. How does this go down?
Anyway, thank you. Interestingly, the reproductive health services is a bit biased. And as you rightly said, because more than 80% of our services, especially the family planning services product, more of feminine oriented.
Targeted at women.
With the exception of the vasectomies and the male condom, like you rightly said. But, you know, the interesting thing about it is it does not limit access to the men, so that you have men still coming over, because even though it's reproductive health services, and we sometimes could have the well woman clinic dissociated from the main, the doors are widely open so that irrespective of who wants our services could access it. And then a lot of the women, so when they come over, it helps them to enforce communication between the partners, because I'm coming to learn, and then even if my partner is not around, I'll be able to teach my partner at home, and that increases their communication before even the sexual activities or engagement goes on. And so yes, we are a bit biased. However, our doors are widely open for both the men as well, which of course a number of them come in, and then it comes in, unlike the private sector where you have mostly the single ones. For us, we have the package as it comes a whole box, and then it's about 144. And so you can just visit the ones, and you have like 144 pieces for usage at home as a man. Yes, so that is the situation.
Great. So we're getting the empowerment, and we're helping partners, particularly women, to negotiate safe sex. And so when they come and they get that kind of, should I say, counseling and information, then they, transfer this to their partners, right? And hopefully we'll still achieve the same end. I'll take a breather for a couple of commercials, and then we'll come back and look at, well, so how do you use this properly? And make sure that the right things are being done. Okay? Right. Which of these mice? This one. All right. Great.
We were totally crushed when our child was diagnosed with cancer.
We knew we just couldn't afford the treatment. And then you came to our rescue through the Camel Antiseptic Liquid Because We Care initiative. We are so grateful.
Join us again to fight childhood cancer. All you have to do is to buy Camel Antiseptic Liquid, and we will use 10 pesos to support the Because We Care initiative to help a child with cancer. Give 10 pesos, give hope. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to the studio, Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM. We're talking about safe sex. Today we're focusing specifically on the male and female condom, and we will also talk about sexual lubricants. And you just heard Rose justifying the seeming and apparent bias towards females when it comes to reproductive health and safe sex and all the things we're talking about. If you have any questions, concerns, share them with me and I will definitely read them out. This is from her. Pasolo in Doma Hinkro. Hello, good afternoon, Ultimate Health Team. Please, if an articulator or tractor tire can best, what can condoms do? Men need conduct, not condoms. All right. Most unwanted pregnancies are the product of malfunction or default of these condoms. Okay, Pasolo has some statistics, right? So he's saying that let's talk about the usage and the practice. So let me come back to Doris. Since the should I say demonstration will help us understand usage. Yeah, Doris.
So, the male condom is what I have in my hand. It's just a type that I have. And before the man or the woman would put it on the male, you have to feel the condom to be sure it is not expired.
Right.
So the feel it feels full. It means it is not broken anyway. So you have to press it to be sure
so
that
almost as if it has air in it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's full.
Right.
And then you have to check the expiry date.
Okay.
So once it's not expired, you are full to go.
All right.
The
it's
male,
not flat. It's not flat.
It's not flat. It has to be full.
Right.
Like there's air inside.
Okay.
So, and then try to
move it around.
Move it around for the lubricant in it to go around it.
All this assumes you have a lot of time, eh?
So
don't mind me.
The penis should be erect, and then don't try to.
It's also a problem. Anyway, go ahead.
Shouldn't try to use the teeth or scissors, anything. There are grooves around the edges there.
Okay.
Look at that part.
The rough
edge. Take your time, the rough edge, and tear around it. This is a beautiful condom, black or dark in color, and has some nice smell, chocolate. Flavor, as if you should eat it. So there's a nipple around at the tip there.
The tip.
And that is where the semen will collect. So this part should be held and put at the tip of the penis. It feels erect penis.
All right.
Don't try to start sex before coming out to wear the condom. Then the pre-ejaculate might have gone in.
Okay. So this is all before they do.
Yes. So it's simple. Just try and then holding the tip, just roll it down.
Okay.
And that is all. And then
you're not pulling it, you're not using your nails, you're just rolling it down gently.
Just roll it down gently.
Okay.
Like I did. And that is it. This has some studded things around it which would, increase the pleasure.
Right.
And then after the man has ejaculated, that is when he has to come out quickly. And then try to use tissue.
Right.
So we're going to use tissue.
Right.
And then...
So you're going to demonstrate how to remove it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right. But just a quick question, whilst with... And Teresa, you wanted to come in before.
Yes, just to add to what Auntie Doris has demonstrated with the fixing of the male condom. And to actually merge it with what the listener wanted to know about articulator ties and then condoms.
Breakage and all those things.
Yes, condoms are made to be firm, to be strong, to be very durable.
Right.
And our own Ghana FDA is very, very...
They are tested and registered.
Yes, tested and registered. So the point about checking the expiry date and checking whether it has an FDA registration, meaning it has
very
been
important.
Very important, so that it does not break.
The smuggled ones and the COVID ones. Right.
Condoms already come lubricated, but you can add lubricants for the added pleasure. We say the wetter the better when we are talking about lubricants.
The wetter
the better.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So before Auntie Doris demonstrates how it is removed, it needs to be steady. And when the ejaculation has happened and the penis has gone limp, then it's very easy to remove the condom.
Okay.
And also the parts where she held before rolling it down onto the erected penis.
That's it.
Sometimes, yes, contains some delay chemicals for some types of condoms.
Right.
To give extra stamina and, of course, to increase the pleasure.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
So that's
Wow.
what I wanted to
Okay,
add.
so you're getting a lot of IMF help to do what you're supposed to do and to be safe. All right. So, Doris, before you demonstrate taking it off, so this whole business of actually procuring a condom, making sure you're putting it on and all that, is something which essentially should happen between the two people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But not.
It's not something you're putting on in secret and appearing.
No.
Right.
Not
Okay.
essentially between the two. Knowing that,
The man can wear it himself.
yes, he should. The two of you should be responsible for the
Okay.
sex. And once we are not ready for the baby or STIs, then we should be responsible.
Okay.
If a lady meets the man and the man hasn't got condom, the woman can pull hers out.
All right.
Oh, I want us to use the condom.
All right.
If you have a female condom, that's even the better.
Okay.
So this part, like Teresa was saying, holds the semen.
Right.
So it doesn't break.
Okay.
And if the penis goes limp, that is when sometimes condoms are lost during the, sexual act.
Okay.
We've had stories where condoms have been found high up in the woman's vagina because the penis went limp before he came out.
Okay.
So it should be a bit erect before you come out. And this is how it can be removed. So holding the tissue, just go down to the base of the penis, and then as you're coming out, you are just cleaning the penis and wrap it in the tissue and put in the
All right.
dust bin, not the toilet bowl.
So in this process, you shouldn't lose any fluid.
No.
If you're doing the right thing.
Yes. So
All
the
right.
tissue helps to, clean the semen that was
Okay.
in there, and
All right.
then wrap it and put it away so children will not play with it. It must be wrapped carefully and
Okay.
put in the dustbin.
All right. Great.
So the women's condom, the female condom, that's
Right.
the FC2, can also be worn over the penis. We couldn't bring the female, So once it is removed, it's the same way.
Right.
Try to
But
wrap
this is-
it and
but
make sure.
Let me just clarify. This
Okay.
is inserted by the female.
By the
But you're
female.
saying you can use this to demonstrate.
Yes.
Okay.
So the female can insert it into her vagina,
It can be put on.
but it can also be put on the penis, where it's turned upside down.
Right.
And then the ring, there's a ring outside and then a ring inside. So in
Right.
this case, it's the ring, the inner ring is removed, and then the condom is worn over the penis, and the ring is put over, the inner ring is put over.
Right.
And then it holds it in position.
Right.
So the advantage this female condom has over the male condom is that you could, after the act, you can lie in there as long as you want.
Okay.
And it will not be lost
Because
inside
there's
the
no
vagina.
exchange. There's a
Yes.
foolproof barrier
Yes.
method.
Yes.
Okay, great. If you just joined us, 31 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. The program is Ultimate Health. We're talking about safe sex, and we're explaining, and thanks to the power of multimedia, we have visual demonstration as well for those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and watching us online as well. This one says, this is from Dede. It says, they mentioned there are various sizes of condoms last week. How can one off the cuff determine the size to buy? Or one has to go through many of them to determine. This is all part of you being responsible, I guess. You should know your size, and gradually you sort this out before you actually engage in the stuff. But I'll ask my guest, how many people have that spare money to go through the trial and error phase to determine the right size? All of this, I believe, today is based on commitment and safety and responsible behavior. I don't know whether you want to comment on that. Even in a shoe shop, you try and you get your size, and even if your size is a bit tight, okay. But we don't have dressing rooms and changing rooms for condoms.
Yeah.
But it's a personal, private commitment that you make, and if you find that there's a problem, I probably guess you'll rectify that. Oh,
Yes, just as you mentioned, there's a personal responsibility. And when Auntie Doris was introducing the male condom, she mentioned most of them are made out of latex.
Right.
And then there are some people who are allergic genuinely to latex. They find out by even using normal latex gloves, and they find out they react, they turn reddish and itch and all that. So chances are you would react to the latex male condom. But this is a very small percentage.
Right.
And those are also taken care of because there are other non-latex condoms available, and then made up of polyurethane or lambskin, depending on what you're looking for. The same way, the standard erected penis, the male condom is manufactured in such a way that it fits on most standard erected penises. However, we have some men who are really well and over endowed, so the condom sizes go
and under endowed.
And under endowed, yes.
Right.
So we have condom sizes that are in a certain circumference size, that those who are well endowed know that those are the ones that we have to get, because it's really important you get the correct size so that they don't break, they don't tear, they don't slip off. And also in fixing the male condom, do not fix condom on condom. Some men will say, double. Yay, I want added protection. I want to fix 2 condoms. But rubber on rubber will break and it will tear, and the whole area will be exposed.
All right.
So do not put on 2 condoms.
So maybe female and male.
Yes.
So you won't have a situation, or you shouldn't have a situation where she's got the female condom on, and then you got the male condom on, and you think you're the best couple in town.
It's either or.
Right.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Good afternoon. Why do most ladies not like using condoms? Because of side effects inside their private parts after sex? Question mark. This is no name, but somebody is suggesting that there's some reluctance on the part of women when it comes to condom use. Are women reluctant to use condoms?
No.
I don't think the answer is yes, because if I know I'm not in a regular relationship or trusted in quotes relationship, then I must be eager to use a condom.
Or if I know I'm not ready for the consequences of infection
for the
or
aftermath,
pregnancy.
then I must be responsible.
Okay, right. Okay, the other one was sent by Philip Selassie Abavo. Thanks, Philip. I hope we've answered your question. Right. So we're learning, and these are interesting things. You mentioned that we can use, even though they come pre-lubricated, we can use lubricants, and there are certain cautions with this. Rose, we heard about water-based lubricants and oil-based. Right. The oil-based are not good for the latex. Right. So when it comes to choice of lubricants, what can we share with our listeners?
Okay, so rightly, like we started last week, that the most appropriate is the water-based, because for that, yes, you are not likely to react to it in any case. And so you ensure that whatever lubricant you're using, irrespective of the flavor, irrespective of the type, it should be water-based, so that you can enjoy the full safety as you desire, because apart from the fact that you want to prevent the sexually transmitted infections, if you get some reactions, it rather increases your chance of developing the sexually transmitted infections.
Great. Good afternoon, Nortey. Please ask for me, how has education gone so far in terms of the condom use? Because when we look at the state at which teenage pregnancy is prevailing, it's becoming too alarming. Man Joseph Jingo in Community 9, Tema, aka Jingo, he'll probably call and ask 4 more questions. So let's sort this one out pronto. Are we really educating, and are the young persons for whom we've gotten all funky with the education and the marketing of these things, are they, demonstrating that they are taking up these protective measures? Teresa.
Thank you very much, Nortey. Yes, to answer Ajingo's question, the rate at which condoms are taken or used goes with the rate, the prevalence of education. So we found out that the more educated the adolescent was, or the more educated the young person was, he or she was more likely to use some form of contraception or use the condom. So program managers in designing programs to go into other parts of the country we introduce, peer-to-peer education
Okay.
in the communities where you get local champions. They have a focus group discussion and talk about it.
Local champions in terms of responsible, dependable, reliable education and information.
Exactly.
Not that they are local champions.
No,
in-
not the no,
in
not
the league.
No, I mean local champions in the towns, in the villages,
Right.
in the communities,
Right.
who have a discussion with these young ones
Okay.
to educate. Because remember, we have been talking about giving out information, pointing direction to services,
Right.
and now to point them to the products that this is what you should use.
Okay.
So the more educated they are, or whoever is on the subject or any other subject, the more likely they are to choose the use of condoms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Now I'm going to move, and I'm still checking my WhatsApp. I guess shortly I will activate the phone lines as well. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. This issue of using condoms and protection and lubricants on sexual or sex toys. Right? You have a dildo, you have all sorts of gadgets, they have all sorts of names, etc. They also need to be safe, right? So you're protecting yourself and your body, and then you're introducing all these, let me call them innovations and tools, apparatus and apps into your sexual activity. Should they also be protected?
Yes. Yes, Nortey, and I would like to talk a little bit about the lubricants before I go into the use of the sex toys. So the lubricants, or lubes for short,
Okay.
are a liquid or a gel-based, ingredients that is used during sex to lessen friction, and then most importantly to increase pleasure.
Okay.
We have seen that most condoms come lubricated,
Right.
but you can add lubricants, if I can just, onto the condom.
Onto the outside of it?
Yes, onto the outside of the erected condom. You
Okay.
just pour a little bit.
Right.
And then
You're running away from your microphone. Yeah. Uh-huh.
you pour a little bit, and then you rub it onto the erected condom with
Okay.
erected penis with the one condom on.
Right.
And
After
then-
it's been put on properly
yeah,
and
after
safely.
it's been put on properly,
Right.
to lubricate it a bit.
Okay.
Remember the wetter, or to lubricate the vagina, the vulva.
And this is an
area.
appropriate lubricant.
Yes,
because we
that
know
is-
last week we heard about people using rub
No.
and other things which are harsh and
They are
they damage.
harsh, they can damage, they can break the condom. So this water-based lubricant
Okay.
can be used on it.
All right.
The use of sex toys. It is important that condoms are worn over sex toys.
Okay.
Because what are we trying to? We are trying to prevent sexually transmitted infections.
All right.
We got feedback from one of our listeners last week that there was a program where teenagers were engaging in anal sex in order to preserve their virginity, and lubricants are essential in anal sex because
Right.
the anus doesn't
You want to
moisturize.
prevent tears, lacerations, cuts, which also
exactly.
heighten the chance of transmission.
And most importantly, when we are talking about key populations, men sexing men, and there's a huge controversy about an LGBTQ bill and
right.
all that. These are populations in the society in which we live in.
Right.
So men sexing men, female sex workers, commercial sex workers who use drugs.
Okay.
Lubricants are essential. They come as the tube, or they come as sachet packaged for convenience.
Okay.
Use. So sex toys, yes, just as if you are a woman that you're going to have a scan, the probe is used, a condom is worn over the probe
Right.
before a lubricant is placed on
Right.
and inserted.
Even during investigations and
during
procedures.
investigation.
Right.
So yes.
Okay, great stuff. They came armed and dangerous. They are my SWAT team. You just heard Theresa speaking. Doris is in the middle, and we've got Rose. They are all well equipped to answer your questions. I'm going to activate the phone lines 0302-216-541, and we're live on Facebook and YouTube. And WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living, only on Joy 99.7 FM. This and every Sunday 2:05. We're live and up to date with all the precise, unassailable health information.
Joy 99.7.
Right. Dede has a concern. As usual, she's concerned that, hey, the penis prop, is it made of wood?
Yes.
Yes, this one is. There are other
This one
types.
is.
This one is. There are other types, okay?
Yeah,
For demonstration purposes, but there are other types.
Yeah.
Hey, Dede, you and your eyes, eh? Hey, Chineke. Right, my phone line is active, 0302216541. Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM. We're learning and growing. We're talking about things you have a difficulty talking about. Indeed, I was reading and I realized and recalled in 2011, the Ghana AIDS Commission and I think a few other agencies procured about 400, if I remember rightly. Chief, Etuahini Treme, Director General, thanks for your comments and, should I say, endorsement of last week's program. Do we have these vending machines? Because some people we know have a problem buying them. No matter how nice you ladies sound, going into a shop and buying a condom and all that, we made some investment in this regard. Do any of you ladies aware of vending machines and whether we are using them? In some countries, you book a hotel room and you find there's the New Testament and then there's a condom as well, right? Even in Ghana,
yes.
Are we also employing these strategies to reach persons and make sure that they are using and practicing safe sex?
Yes.
Rose.
I would say that yes, but just at the numbers, because then we have some few institutions, especially the hotels that have these
Condom vending machines.
Yes.
Oh.
And then, however, we're looking at increasing the extent to which these vending machines are made available.
Can't remember
Because
last time I saw
sometimes,
one.
like, you go to the ATM, so that even if it could be readily available just anywhere, you don't need to
Right.
go to a particular place before you could even use it.
Okay.
But I'm sure maybe Ghana Health Service can do better
Right.
to increase the numbers, and then we'll be able to
Right,
have it
because-
literally
yeah.
everywhere
Okay.
for convenience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teresa, do you guys have any?
Yeah, what we have done is to actually place, because the condom is an over-the-counter product.
Right.
So we have placed it on all the online marketing, outlets, be
Okay.
it Jumia, Gigi, and we have e-pharmacies online.
Right.
So just as you would order your
You
food,
can get condoms
yes,
online.
you can get condoms on all the
And
different types, and the
some
lubricants
Okada,
as
some
well.
dispatch rider will bring. Sharp, sharp.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pronto. All right. Doris,
For me,
Ridge
I
Hospital,
think-
is there a vending machine?
No, we don't.
Kolibu is
have-
there?
No, we don't have
We
the
Oh,
don't
machine.
have.
really?
I think we should come to a point where you could go to anywhere and buy a condom. And
Yeah, we're not
feel
there. We're
bad.
not there. Even you say we're not there. So we
Because
should also
some
have these things.
supermarkets are even
Supermarkets
yes,
sell, we
checkout
know that.
counter, yes.
They're filling station
And
marks
then
and
if
things.
you find a youth or a young person or a grown-up with condoms in his or her bag, you shouldn't make noise and say, "Hey, why are you having this?" Because the
All right.
person is ever ready. I hear in some countries they even teach the younger ones. Once you become a teenage girl, your mother or your teacher knows or should tell you that keep a condom on you anywhere you're going to,
Right.
because if someone should rape you, then you want to rape me, use the condom. So you avoid the STI, the sexually transmitted infection,
All right.
as well as pregnancy.
Okay, you've brought me to another key issue, though we're focusing generally on sex, safe sex, right? But we have some laws which conflict. I don't know if we still have that, but the GS, if I remember, forgive me if it's been updated, but I've done work in this area, and I know there was a response and a policy posture of the GS. If you were to be found to be in possession of condoms in school, it is a definite no. And we've had some argy-bargy and negotiation about this. And these things are a problem for us, Rose, aren't they?
They are to a large extent,
Right.
especially with the adolescents and the communities where there is
Yeah.
a high rate of unwanted pregnancies
Right.
and these sexually transmitted infections among the adolescent. So that sometimes you expect that with these young girls who in the end are unable to achieve their objectives in
Right.
life because they had to drop out of school, if they are given the opportunity, some of them, those we know that the communities especially,
Right.
that we know we are still battling with, after appropriately teaching them the right things to
Right.
do, it shouldn't be out of place to find them in possession of some of these products.
Okay.
But Well, there's a two-way to the issue, though. What we need to bear in mind is we should consider the information has to be adequate. It means that you are properly teaching,
Right.
and then so that when you come to the facility, we'll not just presume because you have seen us on set and we have done the demonstration, you are good to go. We would re-demonstrate and would want you to counter-demonstrate
Right.
so that we can appreciate your level of knowledge and
Right.
skill before the usage.
And your sexual exposure, right?
Exactly,
And sexual
exactly.
history. Okay, that's important. And let's not forget that last week we did hit hard and emphasize that abstinence
Yeah.
is
It's safest.
part of safe sex. All right, so it's not as if
Abstain.
there's a wholesale
Safest.
propagation and promotion of sexual intercourse. Okay, and don't forget that there's a whole range of non-penetrative sexual acts that some
yes.
people consider to be safe, but they are not. Okay, so it's not as if we're pushing condom use and sale of condoms wholesale. There's a whole range of things, and that is why we've dedicated so many weeks, and we got these women in here.
So, just
yeah.
adding to it, I
Yeah.
think the information we're
Naughty.
trying to
Okay,
okay, Naughty.
Naughty by nature.
The
Yeah.
information we're trying to put across is that the information has to be accurate, adequate,
Okay.
and age appropriate.
Right.
Because it's like you should be considerate of that.
Okay, let me
before
hit you with this one
expose.
straight. Age appropriate. Can I, a 15-year-old, I am aware of my sexuality. I may or may not have started something, but I've come and I want to buy. Is that okay?
It is very much okay. It rather gives me a lot of confidence that you know what you are about.
Okay.
Because I meet some women and they're like pregnant. I'm not ready for the pregnancy. I have this number of children, and then you ask yourself, like, seriously, because you expect this woman to know better.
All right.
And so meeting an adolescent, 15 years, I would be glad to
But
even
listen to you talking and saying woman, woman, woman. Somebody is listening to us and is incensed. Oyakola, what are you talking about? What are you teaching?
Yes.
How do we bridge this?
good. That is why we're saying that like Auntie Doris mentioned earlier, sometimes it is not because this child is going to practice all,
Right.
but it is for protection.
Right.
You just want to stay safe, not because you are kind of. It means that you have groomed yourself and
Right.
immediately you are available.
And it
for
also
that
protects you from
activity.
misinformation as well.
That is it.
Okay.
So you get the right information and right usage of the products
Okay.
that you have with you.
Great stuff. 49 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. The program is Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living. We're still in the safe sex business. Today is World Mental Health Day, and the theme is mental health in an unequal world. And we know access to mental health services and all these things is a challenge as well. But you know what? If you're practicing safe sex, you're well aware of your sexuality and your sexual health. Do you know that promotes and protects your mental well-being and physical well-being as well? So I'm sure my SWAT team will agree with me. That
Definitely.
if you're not carrying an unplanned pregnancy, if you're not suffering from some STI, if you're not having sex under force, compulsion, or even assault, that is all part of your mental well-being. And so, hey, these things are connected. And that's why I still have these women in the studio, despite the World Mental Health Day. Thumbs up to my colleagues and my professional partners. It's World Mental Health Day, but we're still talking safe sex. Right, my phone line is active 0302216541. This is the only time you'll get Doris, Rose, and Teresa with no tax, VAT free. So you can call us and you can use the WhatsApp as well. I will address your questions. Okay, so I've looked at that. We've looked at toys. And what are some of the common mishaps with the condoms and lubricants? What are the things people do wrong for these articulator tires to burst and all those things that people suggest? People claim they have all the information. It's like the anti-vaccine people. They have all their paw against it, right? But you know what? You can call me and share. What do you use? What do you patronize? Have you used any of these before? Any experiences, issues with them? And if you have issues or positions against them, tell us. What are your reasons? But what are the common mishaps? We've heard the rub and the olive oil and other things. Some of these things are very harsh on the genitalia and the genital surfaces, right? And Rose, any of these mishaps you want to talk about?
I just want to mention the fact that, especially in the wearing of the or fixing of the male condom, a lot of people miss the aspect, like they feel it's not so key to nip the end before you insert it.
Pinch the top,
Yes,
right?
yes, they
Yeah.
feel it's not so necessary, but it is very critical.
Right.
Because if you miss it, then there's a likelihood that you're going to expose air into
Right.
the condom, and for
Right.
that matter, there's the likelihood of the breakage.
Okay.
But if most people who use
Gently
the
pinch
condom would pinch
the tip, as
it
you
would-
put it on, right?
Sure.
It also makes sure
Sure.
that that space, that air space is left at
Exactly.
the top, and you're not forcing and squashing that over as well.
Sure.
All right, okay, that's a common mishap.
Okay.
Teresa,
Another thing is, we mentioned that the lubricant, so this is a water-based lubricant, should be placed on the condom to lubricate. However, most or some men will lubricate the condom, the penis, erected penis, before putting it, and that will cause a slip-off.
all right,
And it can cause breakage.
okay,
So it's essential, because sometimes they use too much.
Okay.
If you're using a good product, all you need is just a drop,
Right.
and then it's, sort of lubricates the whole,
all right,
erected penis. So that is essential. We are dwelling on condom breakage, condom slipping off, and leakage, because the condoms are really, really efficacious.
Okay.
However, because of the misuse,
right,
causing breakage and slip-offs and leakages,
okay,
that is what is resulting in, the 0.5 to 1%,
all right. Okay.
inefficacy.
There's a question I have, again, my plenty reading. Should we be using some of these things in the preparation or the foreplay? Some people say, Charlie, the foreplay, there's no half time, there's no throwing, there's no penalty. So by the time I realized, or we realized this and that, so should you have these things on the ready, at the go, or you finish your foreplay and then you say, Auntie Doris and Auntie Rose and Auntie T said this? What would you advise? Practical questions, and these are
Yeah.
life skills.
Yes. I think last week we mentioned that in the heat of passion, would one remember to wear a condom? Would one remember to hold the tip and all that? That is why we are also educating that once you are sexually active and
Right.
the intention is there, you can have these in stock.
Okay.
In your bags, at home, wherever. Just as now, because of the pandemic, everybody carries a mask. It almost becomes part of your wardrobe.
Right.
You carry your sanitizer, alcohol-based. Why don't you add your male or your female condom or other forms of contraception,
Okay.
your pill, ready to go, such that when it's spontaneous, you have it available to
Right.
use.
Okie dokie. I thought I saw a message. This person has deleted so many
the
things.
female condom could even be worn like 8
Hours
hours before
before,
the ad.
yeah.
So you can do anything.
Okay, all right, okay. Good afternoon, please. After the use of condom, the Virginia itch. What's that?
The vagina
It itches. Okay.
Yes,
Oh, I
yeah.
see
So
EACH.
she's allergic.
Right.
She's
So
allergic.
there's some
allergic to lace.
allergy.
Allergy somewhere.
Okay. So she should actually get information, go to a facility,
Yes.
and then she can make an informed choice for an alternative
Yes.
and still get the protection.
Yes.
Right? So don't lose or forego the protection on account of a reaction. Go to a facility and get the right information, and then choose the appropriate type or variant that will still protect you. Okay?
I also want to add to it that one condom is for each act. We
yeah.
don't repeat or wash them to reuse.
Recycling.
Recycle, no.
People do that?
Some because the female condom, for instance, is quite tough, and people will think that, oh, I've used it, let me wash it and hang and reuse. No.
Oh,
It's
hang a
once.
condom.
You wash it
Auntie
and hang
Doris.
it to dry. And then
see.
I've heard a story.
You are the
before.
people Lord Kitchener was singing
That's
about.
So-
why we made it very accessible
It
and
should be
Right.
used,
affordable.
and it's very, very cheap.
Yeah,
Okay.
very cheap to use.
What does cheap mean here? What's cheap?
The female condom, 3 is for 1 CD.
3 for 1 CD.
Three 3 condoms for 3 acts for just one Ghana.
That's cheaper than in Katia Boga.
Not
Right.
to surprise you, the condoms displayed here, the average price is 1 cedi 50 pesos
Right.
for a pack of 3.
For a pack of 3.
Yes.
One is
One
like
city.
like
one
Yes,
is
so
a
these are social marketing condoms.
So you're not selling them to make money.
Not at all.
Right.
It's to actually drive the impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Douglas from DC, who now uses my full name. Douglas, share you. With those chemicals with which the condom passes through, do they have side effects on us? Life skills, it doesn't exist in our education system again. Oh. Let the GS bring it back. Okay. So any of these lubricants and things, do they have any untoward effects? These are all tested and registered products,
No.
right? They go through FDA. You can't just bring in anything and be using. There were some things, and we may get to aphrodisiacs if I can convince these ladies to stay on for the rest of the year. But you see, people are using all sorts of things to enhance, in their belief, the sexual act. And many of those are not tested and registered products. And people, when things are forbidden, they tend to be more attractive.
Yes.
The psychology of the forbidden.
And people would itch or react in certain ways because there are other things they put in there.
Okay.
The fingers, the tongue, and other things. So those reactions may come.
Right.
Or maybe the lubricant is not water-based. The woman
Or
may
maybe you
react.
already have a sexually transmitted infection.
Infection.
Okay.
Candida and the rest.
Right.
And the woman may react.
Okay.
Some men would even react when there are all these things going on.
Okay. Right. So, wow. On a Sunday afternoon, you see why I bring them in? I do very little talking. They know the deal and they can protect you. That's the important thing. We hope you have benefited from this transfer of information. All too soon, we're out of time. But remember that this also entails a lot of sexual responsibility as well as awareness, right? You're seeing all sorts of things on social media, be it Instagram, whatever. You are seeing stuff and you want to try it, okay? Those people you see on those platforms will not tell you what they've gone through or what infections or consequences they have faced. So that is why we're doing this extended discussion on sexual health and safe sex and indeed birth control. You may have something that gives you or confers birth control but may not protect you against the infections. So it's important to know these things as well. Once again, many thanks to Doris Kumiwa Ejay of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. She's a DDNS with the Reproductive Health Unit of the Ridge Hospital. Rose Edufo is a principal nursing officer, PNO. Are you still a PNO?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, with the Reproductive Health Unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And Teresa Mami Ekwia Gale is the country manager, not be small title, country manager for all these things we are talking about for Society for Family Health International Ghana. We'll be continuing, if I can negotiate safe sex with these ladies again next week or in the weeks to come, so that we go into the other methods, the IUDs and all that. Many thanks, ladies, for gracing our channel and educating our listeners. Many thanks to Abeku Sankofi and of course my discerning listeners. My name is Nortey by nature. I'm out. I hand over to Bile for Sunday Rhythm. Stick and stay on Joy 99.7 FM.
Everywhere you turn, there's a mother, a father, a sister, or a brother who has been